Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those who are new here, my name is Psychic Bella Love, and you can book your own personal private reading with me on my website, psychicbellalove.com. And until 11/12/21, you can use coupon code November to get an extra $20 off any appointment on this site, excluding emergency readings. And you can also follow me on my Patreon. That is the only place where I do video requests, or we talk about everything completely uncensored that we can't discuss over here on YouTube. You know, if the Jakumatati is real and who's in it, fair warning, it does get dark because Hollywood was built off of satanic stuff. So if you don't want to know all of that, then don't join, but be prepared. You have been warned ahead of time. And you can follow my backup channel once we reach the 1,000 subscribers threshold that YouTube requires. We will start going live over there to do live celebrity readings, and you can follow me on Instagram. All that information will be linked in the description box below. It is very early here on Sunday morning. It is, I think today's the 7th of November. It might be this, no, today's the 7th. So, sorry, I'm like all discombobulated between the time change, and I have been super busy. So I was trying to catch up on everything that happened surrounding this Travis Scott Astro World situation. Now, before we get into anything, I'm just gonna tell you guys there is a lot of darkness that is connected to this, and there is a lot of questions that I know you guys will have, you know, want answers to, that I cannot in any way, shape, or form address over here on YouTube, but I will be doing a second part to this, explaining all of that stuff over on my Patreon. So if you want to know anything about that, go over there. Do not ask questions in the comments, because I do not answer follow-up questions in comments, because once I'm done with the reading, I leave the energy anyways and I move on to something else. But also, you know, this is a very sensitive topic because there's a lot of things surrounding this that make it sensitive. People lost their lives, and on top of it, like I said, you know, there is darker things connected to this that we just cannot address over here. So I am going to try to answer what I can without violating any terms and conditions on YouTube. So also, you know, disclaimer, tarot is not a proven science. Metaphysical science is a science, but it, you know, has not been proven, blah, 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 disclaimer stuff. Everything is for entertainment purposes only, and all alleged. Once there is a reliable source or place, you know, that has come up, like a GoFundMe or something like that, to donate to the victims of this event, I will be donating all of the proceeds from this video. So while it will be monetized, I'm not keeping any of the money from it. It is going to go towards helping the victims and their families. So there is so much going on with this, and I already feel like I want to cry, even like beginning to connect to this energy. You know, it's never a good thing when something like this happens, and this goes far beyond the normal fuckery, you know, and just, oh, haha, these people are toxic and cheat on each other stuff that we usually look at over here. So, Spirit, please join us in answering any questions that we have in regards to the festival that happened over this weekend, known as Astrofest, that was put on by the rapper who goes by the name of Travis Scott. We're also going to be asking questions about other celebrities who were there or involved, such as Drake, Roddy Ricch, Kylie Jenner, and Kendall Jenner as well. Thank you, Spirit. We truly are only asking for the intention and purpose of clarity and understanding, not with any bad intention, just to really get some truth around what happened in this situation. Spirit, Please bless and protect all who we ask about in this reading, as well as all who listen, watch, and participate. Thank you, Spirit. Amen. Also, Archangel Michael, please come in and put your shield of protection over everybody watching this reading, as well as myself, and over anybody who did suffer during the atrocities that happened over the weekend. Use your sword to cut off any negative energy ties holding on to anything, anybody, or that anybody wants to send our way. Thank you. St. Jude, please come in and bring some desperately needed healing energy to all who were affected during this time as well. Thank you. Amen. And I do have candles lit for the victims and their families as well. I mean, I think it's pretty clear I'm not a fan of the Kardashians, and most of these, you know, kind of newer rappers along the Travis Scott level, I'm just sort of like whatever about. But I mean, this is just such a devastating thing, and seeing all of those videos going around, it can't help but really hit you hard and affect you and make you feel awful and question a lot of things. The first thing that's coming up in the underlying energy is Kylie is very worried about the backlash that this is going to have on her in particular, especially with the way that, you know, these videos are coming out where it seems that Travis was, you know, directly looking at people and seeing what was going on and still kept singing and acting like nothing was happening. And obviously there's been multiple reports that Kylie was there. She's released a statement, and there's tons of backlash already going on in regards to all of them. And then there's reports that Kylie and Kendall were aware because they walked past all of the bodies and people who were in the medics tents getting worked on as they were being escorted out. And, you know, Kylie's statement was that her and Travis didn't know anything that happened or weren't made aware until after the concert was stopped and the news reports came out. And people are saying that's just simply not true, because you walked past everybody on your way out because they were, I guess, they had pulled everybody over near the security area. And that's, of course, where the, you know, VIPs had to walk out of. So she's definitely really scared about how the general public is going to perceive her going forwards, and what personal backlash that she's going to have to face herself is the first thing that was coming up in this underlying energy, which is interesting because I thought we were going to jump right into Travis, but we're going to ask questions, so don't worry. This is just a quick overview of what Spirit wants us to know is currently going on energetically. And if you are new here, make sure you subscribe. I do have tons of pre-recorded content that is going to be released, and I talk about all the different celebrities over here. And if you were wondering about the angle, I broke all my freaking stands and lights and everything, so this is the only way that I can get my phone to stand up on my iPad stand right now. So I will hold up the cards that are important, but I'm a psychic anyways. I don't need tarot. I just use it to connect and to protect myself from having to be too connected to energy in situations like this. So there's definitely going to be legal issues that arise from this, you guys. And what initially is coming out, or what is going to come out around this, there's definitely cover-ups happening because people are trying to cover their butts. You know, it's obviously, you guys, in this situation, when it comes to people like Kylie and Travis, you know, not that they would be thrilled to be sued, but being sued is a lot better than actually having to face some sort of felony charge or something like that. And remember, you guys, in the past, Travis has dealt with riot charges and inciting things before. And so Spirit is saying that is going to come back to bite him in the butt again. So that's where, you know, they're coming in and saying, we're going to press charges on you because this isn't the first time we've had situations like that with you, and you've shown that you don't take this seriously. So Spirit is saying Travis for sure is going to end up having to deal with more legal issues than just lawsuits, but there's also definitely going to be lawsuits. People are going to be looking for money, you know, as a result of this, because obviously now people have to pay for medical bills. And if somebody unfortunately passed, you have funerals and things like that that you have to pay for. So, you know, and wrongful death suits and things like that. So not looking good for you, Travis, but there is, you know, this desperate getting together of people, and how are we going to spin this and play this out and, you know, try to all save our asses, so to speak. And so a lot of what is already being said, and a lot of what we will see being said about this situation from not law enforcement side, but, you know, obviously the people who have an interest in making sure that the general public doesn't cancel them to try to save themselves. However, it's not really gonna work. Also, you guys, we might see Travis and Kylie get married in order to get people to back off and just put some positive spin out there on themselves, because there's something here about we thought that we could sort of gain control of, or control what the perception is going to be and the fallout, you know. However, it's spinning out of our control, and that's definitely not working out the way that we thought. And people are a lot more mad than we anticipated. So we have to kind of try to spin everything around and get you distracted and to focus on to something else. So, you know, it's another Kris Jenner PR production in the works, because there is this idea from this Queen of Swords woman, and, you know, what Spirit is saying is that's representing this shrewd-natured person who has to take charge in a difficult moment and be like, okay, everybody stop crying. This is what you're doing that, this is where we're gonna go with this. And her idea is to get the focus off of the crimes that may have occurred and the awful tragedies that have taken place, and try to renew interest in a more positive spin, in a positive way. And look at, here's Kylie and Travis being the family people, getting married, preparing for their next baby. So expect that we're also going to get lots of leaked stories on, you know, TMZ and everywhere else talking about Kylie and Travis are doing this, and Kylie and Travis are having a boy and they're naming him, you know, Harry Potter Jr. or what the fuck ever, because it's really going to be overdrive to get the conversation on anything and everything else. And Spirit is saying, expect the Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson stories and everybody else's relationship dramas and whatever to be shoved down our throats even more too, because it's like, well, if you're going to talk about us, let's take advantage and let's try to get you to talk about something else in this family instead. So all of a sudden we may see Kim and Pete acting like Travis and Kourtney, where they're all the fuck over each other everywhere. And it's really because Kris Jenner's like, get out there and stick your tongues down each other's throats so everybody stops bashing Kylie. Just like, to that woman sometimes, it's like, can you please stop being the devil for 5 seconds and be a human being? Spirit, let's ask some specific questions now. How is Travis Scott feeling about things in this moment? Thank you. Just gonna pull 3 cards on that. We have a lot of questions and I'm trying to, again, you know, make sure we're asking them properly so that there's no problems on YouTube. But please go over to my Patreon because I'm definitely filming part 2 with all the other questions that we can't talk about right after this. Travis is seeing all of the attacks going on online where people are demanding that he be canceled. So he feels like that actually could really happen to him. He is very upset, but his focus is on trying to get out of it. Get the attention off of me. Who else can we place the blame on? Can we say, oh, security didn't do their job? Can we say, well, earlier in the day, I was talking to my manager and telling them I didn't feel things were safe to continue, and everybody told me it was fine and they would take care of it. And, you know, I couldn't hear because of the band playing and this and that. And, you know, he's going to try to blame it on everybody else. Let's be honest. So, Spirit, did Travis truly not know what was going on? Thank you. Did Travis Scott really, truly not know that people were being crushed and then there was dire emergencies happening in the crowd as he was performing on stage? Yes or no, Spirit? Thank you. He knew and he chose to ignore it. He just wanted to keep on performing and he was getting annoyed that people were trying to stop him, and he felt like, well, there's people down there that are supposed to be dealing with it so they can handle it. He really was just counting on if things got out of control, security and everything else would handle it. And it's like seeing the ambulances, there was no, like, it was like, oh, okay, well, they're going to take care of it, so we don't have to stop. I'm having a good time. Everybody else, you know, is jumping around, so they're having fun too. Like, he was annoyed that people were trying to stop him. So, and I don't know if you guys saw, there is a video clip that was going around, and then what I was seeing was people were saying it kept getting reported and pulled down. But he said something to the effect of like, who's trying to stop me or not gonna stop me? And it was quiet because the band wasn't playing. And then he said, come on, let's rage. And they started playing. I'm not quoting it word for word, but you know, it was something along the lines of that. And he seemed annoyed, like, why are you guys trying to stop me? Like, we're performing. When I watched that, so Spirit's confirming that was his energy. He was more concerned about trying to get the job done and continuing on because he was in a zone instead of doing the right thing. Spirit, is Kylie Jenner telling the truth about having no idea that people actually lost their lives until after the fact? Thank you. We're asking yes or no. Did Kylie Jenner actually not know that people had lost their lives until she saw the news, as she is claiming publicly in this moment? She knew. She's again, they see this as a tower card moment for all of them. Remember, the first thing that came up was that she was worried about the public perception of her. And so Spirit saying, yes, she knew. They walked, and look at 8 of Cups, the walking away card. She did walk past them and see it. And it was this hurry up, let's get the fuck out of here before anybody sees us energy going on with her and Kendall. So, you know, they weren't trying to get out of there because they were worried for their safety. they were like, oh shit, everybody's gonna see us around this. We need to get away from it before it looks bad on us. Okay, Spirit, is Travis Scott actually going to be canceled for this? What is the public going to do in regards to this going forward? Thank you. Is he going to face any long-term backlash, or is this like every other instance where people get canceled for the weekend? Thank you. Spirit saying things are going to continue to come out about this for a long time to come. You know, even when we do move on from things, obviously, then all of a sudden there's going to come back, okay, the sheriffs came back with their investigation report, and then everybody starts talking about it all over again and getting upset all over again. Then, you know, things sort of die down, and then all of a sudden here comes the first lawsuit, and then everybody's talking about it all over again. So it's not something that's gonna go away anytime soon. And even when, you know, people do think, okay, well, we've moved on from it, something will happen that brings it all back around full circle again, and he's gonna get people getting mad at him all over again, is what Spirit is saying, you know. So it's not something that will, you know, just cancel him once and be, okay, we forgive him now kind of a thing. Of course, the biggest thing that's coming up for him that he is really worried about holding on to is money. You know, people are going to see me in a bad light. That's going to affect things. I'm no longer going to have doors open opportunities. Like, this is really going to take me down. So he's definitely worried about that. And that's coming up more than him feeling bad about anything that happened to anybody. I mean, are we surprised, though, that him and Kylie both are more concerned about the public perception of them instead of being like, oh my God, people lost their lives and so many other people got hurt? Because really, when you think about it, like, look at the difference between how Ariana handled the Manchester attacks versus how Travis and Kylie have been handling it now. Because Ariana was just, you know, like, I'm at a loss for words. My heart is so broken. I can't believe that people who came to see me got hurt. You know, she showed that it really made her feel bad, and she wasn't concerned about herself. And is everybody going to come back and get mad at me? That never was anything that we, you know, even thought she was worried about. We were all like, oh my God, poor Ari, like, she's carrying all this guilt and she's probably beating herself up every day about this, you know. And we could tell that she really, really carried that and felt horrible that people lost their lives and were hurt. Whereas what I've seen from Travis's statements and the little clips of some video that he put out or whatever, it was more just like, listen, you know, like, don't get mad at me kind of energy. And, you know, seeing this coming up in here too, it's just even more annoying because people really, truly are affected forever by this. You get to move on and live your life fine. They don't. And it's your fault. So, he is going to have to take a big step back in his career, because not only are a lot of people going to turn on him, and he's, you know, gonna lose a lot of fans and opportunities because of this, but also it's definitely gonna affect Kylie too. Is, you know, what's coming up here in this energy. And it just feels like he's never going to get back to where he was, because obviously you've had so many incidents every time you've performed. I feel like performing, touring is not really going to be an option for him, at least for years to come. either maybe, you know, the courts themselves are like, you are banned from going on tours because bad things happen when you do, or, you know, it's really just that, like, nobody's going to want to go to your concerts and nobody's going to want to pay to go, you know, to put up a concert with you. But there is something big here about him having to walk away from his career for a while because of the outcome of all of this. And it's going to be very heartbreaking to him because it's obviously, I've worked for all of this and now it's being threatened to, you know, go away and be taken away from me. But again, it's, you know, he's more concerned about public perception than anything else. But I mean, he is going to get canceled. It is definitely going to take a toll on his career. Okay, Spirit, how is this going to affect Kylie Jenner's businesses and her career going forwards? And also, guys, you know, I hate to say it, but remember how they milked Kim's robbery in Paris for a storyline for, you know, the E! Show, and we all know they've been filming for Hulu. So, and if you guys, this is the thing that I was saying to somebody yesterday, I'm like, they were all, oh, Kylie and Kendall and Courtney don't want to film the show anymore and blah, 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 blah. And then when you see like who's signed on and filming and going to be a part of the Hulu show, it's basically everybody but Rob again. So Spirit saying, you know, this will be the new Kim robbery storyline on their new show if Kris Jenner can convince Travis to let them talk about it on the show, if they think that's somehow going to. And Travis, if he thinks that will somehow redeem him, he'll do it. And Kylie will do it too. And they'll sit there and cry and be like, we're so devastated. Because if they feel like that's the way they can, you know, get the public back on their side, they'll do it, is what Spirit's saying. So gross. So Spirit, how's this affecting Kylie going forward? Thank you. She's going to get to a point where she is going to consider if it keeps affecting her long term. You know, like how we kept saying, every time things die down and something new comes up and everybody gets mad all over again, she may tell everybody that her and Travis aren't together anymore to separate herself from him to save herself. She'd still be messing with him, but wouldn't publicly let us all know. She also thinks that he may go to jail because of this, though. And she'll think that even more, you know, once they do start saying, like, they're looking at pressing criminal charges, she's definitely going to be convinced that Travis is going to jail. This is something that she definitely had thought, you know, we're having another baby. We're finally in that happy family place. Things are looking great for me. Publicly, I've got, you know, my newest business, Kylie Swim and Kylie Baby. And so she was all excited, you know, and she was feeling like finally her and Travis were getting to an amazing place as well. But all of this happens and now it's like, well, I didn't see that coming. What the F did I get myself involved in? And there is something here about, you know, even though they may try to come out and say Kylie and Travis are getting married or whatever, Kylie is still going to be sitting here contemplating when, you know, things really start to come back to bite her in the ass, if she would be better off just leaving Travis. Remember, guys, that whole family is always for themselves above all else. Yep, and it's definitely because, see, it's like if we can turn things around by getting married or pretending to be married or whatever, then that's great and that'll help people look at me in a better way because she is concerned about that bag being affected. However, this is definitely going to affect her businesses and her public perception. And this may very well be one of the biggest causes of the downfall of Kylie Jenner. So Spirit is saying this whole thing is just going to blow up spectacularly on them. And no matter what they say or do, they're not going to change people's minds. People are still going to say, but from what I saw on Twitter, on those videos, it seemed like you saw it because you were walking right past everything. Or, you know, there's videos of you standing on a crane and saying, nobody's going to stop me, keep raging. And, you know, so everything that they come out as an excuse or a reason or to try to defend themselves, people are going to poke holes in it and turn it back around. It's better for them to just be quiet. So anyways, guys, I am going to get into the deeper parts of this over on Patreon. So make sure you join over there. It is patreon.com/psychicbellalove. Or the links will be in the description box below. You can book your own private reading with me on my website, psychicbellalove.com. Follow my backup channel for live readings and follow me on Instagram. All that information will be linked down below. Let me know, you know, do you think that Kylie and Travis deserve to be canceled over all of this and permanently, finally? What is your thoughts? And make sure you like, comment, subscribe. And remember, even though this video is going to be monetized, everything will be donated to the victims and their families once there is a GoFundMe or something set up so that we can donate. Love you all so much, and I hope everybody has a great one. Bye.